Hello everyone, I am Shruti Sonavne and I welcome you to College Duniya's MBA channel. If you are a current MBA student or an MBA aspirant, then this place is just for you. But before we begin with this video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do it right now. And in this special series of College Dunya interviews, where we interview MBA students from top B schools of India, today we have with us Utkarsh Singh from IIFT Delhi. He is from the batch of 2022 to 24. So, hi Utkarsh, I welcome you to this interview series of College Dunya.
Hi Shruti, great to be having here, and it's a great initiative by College Dunya.
Yeah, thank you. So, hi, and I would like to know about your profile in brief, like your 10th, 12th, UG, and your entrance exam percentile, etc.
Right. My background is BSc Honors Chemistry. I completed it in 2021. My grade was 78%. Before that, in 12th, I had 94%, and in 10th, I have 10 CGPA. And in IIFT, I had a percentile of 98.04. And post that, I gave the interviews. It was a normal process. So this is what I completed my bachelor's in 2021. Post that, I have a gap of 1 year.
Achha. So why MBA, Utkarsh?
Oh, okay. That's a very commonly asked question.
Right.
So my understanding of MBA sort of started, my particular interest started when in undergraduation. I feel with a lot of students, it happens that they're not able to look forward to the course they are part of, and they want to sort of explore something. And the good thing about India's UG colleges is that it gives immense opportunity to sort of explore, to manage, be part of clubs and committees. And this is sort of where their interest starts to accumulate in managing things or getting to know about what the business environment is. And in COVID, I had I would say, more than ample amount of time to think about this stuff. I was having online classes. Everybody knows how they were. And I knew I could figure out how, what I want, what I need. So MBA sort of gave me a good career path, and that's why MBA.
Great. So when did you start preparing for the entrance exam?
Okay, so this was my second attempt this time. So I started preparing in my 4th semester, I would say, because I had to give my first CAT attempt in the fifth semester, because it was a 3-year undergraduation. So yeah.
And what all entrance exams did you appear for?
In the first year, I appeared only for CAT. In the second year, I gave all the exams. You name it, I have given it. So yeah.
Great. So which calls did you get? From which B schools you received calls?
Okay, so the first time my percentile was 95. So the best call that I got was IIM Kozhikode. That was in Liberal Studies Management.
Okay.
The second time my CAT really went bad, as happens with some of the students as well. My LRDI completely tanked in, because of which I was not able to garner even a single IIM call. But I somehow managed in other colleges. I got calls from IIFT, of course, NMIMS, SIBM Pune, SCMHRD, and more or less these colleges which were in my priority list. Rest I did not apply.
Amazing. So you have named some of the top B schools of India. So why did you specifically choose IIFT Delhi over all the other names that you mentioned?
Okay, that's a good question. I think what really differentiates the IIFT is, of course, the placement is very considerable factor. But if you see about IIFT, the curriculum is international business. It's a trade college. So the kind of, trade is very foundational to the kind of business that we partake in. Our country as a growing economy, have to continuously indulge ourselves in international businesses, and you sort of develop an nuanced understanding of what trade is, how to conduct those businesses. So that was a very key factor academically. Secondly, the other factor being placement. The third factor was that I feel that location matters a lot. IIFT is at the central Delhi, the heart of the Delhi. It's very close to very posh areas here. So the campus is beautiful. It's small, but it's really beautiful. So these were the factors that really made me push for it here.
So now that you are into IIFT and you're living the life in IIFT, how do you feel there? How's the campus life at IIFT?
Yeah. It's like a very typical B school, I would say. It depends how you want to make what you want to make of the B schools. If you want to chill for the rest of the day, you don't want to work, you can do that. Everything is easy once your summers are done, your summer placements are done, and you sort of realize what life at B school and what MBA is actually about. So life at MBA is exactly how you want to curate it to be. If you want to get busy, if you want to indulge yourself in committees, committee work, case competitions, it can be as hectic as you want. It can be as still as you want.
So how many clubs and committees do you have in the college? And what all activities, events happen all the year round?
I'm not sure I can't give you an exact number, but it would be in the ball range of 25 to 30, I would say.
Oh, amazing.
20 to 30 at least. Yeah. And the events, every club sort of conducts some events every fortnight or something. Something or else is there every fortnight, I would say. Recently, we had a cultural fest as well. And yeah.
So person who is like very interested and keen on performing in extracurriculars have ample opportunities in the campus.
Yes, definitely.
Great. So what was your strategy when you thought that you'll appear for interviews and the post processes now? Because after you get your scores, there are like different processes for different B schools. The process does not remain same for all those. So was it hectic for you to manage many processes at one time? Because I'm very sure it was not just IIFT that you continued with in the process. So how did you manage that?
The calls I had in SCMHRD and SIBM, there's a written ability test. And at IIFT, the interview process, the result process consists of extempore and personalized interview. So I have to take very different approaches to tackle the challenges. But at the same time, it was sort of similar as well, because the things that I was studying would be helpful to both of these things.
Extempore is something I think not all the B schools conduct, right? IIFT and not all the colleges conduct extempore. It's usually GD, VAC, PI, generally.
That's correct. That's correct. So the last time the process was completely online. So to simplify the process, to not indulge in a very technical complexity of the processes, IIFT decided to have an online interview only. Extempore, it was in fact the extempore and the personal interview was conducted in a single stretch. The first extempore was conducted, and once it was done, the panelists proceeded towards the personal interview. Yeah.
Okay. So what was your strategy to crack extempore and PI? How did you prepare for it?
Okay, preparation, I would say, see, extempore is so diverse, and you can't really prepare thinking a very what will you get, this sort of mindset. You need to prepare with a very bird eye view that anything can come, and the best way is to read the newspapers, sort of do your own analysis. I think there are huge number of groups in Telegram as well. They regularly sort of conduct sessions, and even even as an individual, you can, as a candidate, you can start your own group as well, where you are having those preparatory sessions every day or twice or thrice in a week. So I was part in few of them, but I would agree that I was not very regular. I think apart from the strategy, the main things were reading the newspaper. Just you need to have some sort of extempore, you need to have a sort of clear structure of what you are going to say. So if you're given a topic, you need to have a thought process in mind that what you're going to say initially, the next 30 seconds or the next minute, what you're going to venture into, and the last, how are you going to conclude. So this is a strategy that should work. You're given a 1 minute preparation time. I think more than the points, you should work on how you are going to frame your words, the structure of your extempore. I think that matters more.
Right. So this year also, are they going to conduct extempore?
It's been replaced. I think it's GD and VAT this time, but I'm not entirely sure. The candidates will have to check the interview once, the website once.
Right. So what kind of topics were given to the students in extempore? Like what topic did you get? And you might have asked your batchmates as well. So if you could just tell
Right,
them so
right.
the viewers could get help.
Yeah, definitely. So the kind of topics that were given, even the entire panel discussion that happens, that a very key important factor is that before the interview, we were given a very comprehensive SOP form where they had taken and asked a number of questions, the kind of subjects that we study in undergraduation.
Mhm.
And I feel that my topic that was given was more of related to my the subject that I mentioned since I'm from chemistry background. So one of the subjects that I mentioned was green chemistry, and the topic that they gave was increasing green spaces in urban environment. So I could hover around what I've studied, and I could talk more about it. So I feel the topics that are given are sometimes related to the background that you have as well. So the other people got some of the people got the last time Russia-Ukraine war was a huge hit when it comes to GD topics. So it was very popular. The kind of impact on the inflation or the
Right.
different macroeconomic factors, or even the Taliban invasion of Afghanistan. These were very common and generic topics that were being discussed last year. So being prepared on what the current affairs are is the basic hygiene factor that every candidate needs to do.
True. So after your extempore, what was the next step?
So after, the structure of extempore was 1+3, 1 minute to think and 3 minutes to speak. I
Okay.
did that, and I think I spoke only for 2.5 minutes. Was that I concluded. After it, I was given a minute to sort of relax and feel comfortable with the environment, and then my personal interview began. The panelists introduced themselves. I
Sorry
believe
to
that
interrupt, but I would like to ask,
Hmm.
your interview was also online, right?
Yes, everything was
Yeah.
online.
So how many panelists were there in the interview when you joined?
Yes, there were 3 interviews, and I believe at least 2 of them were from economics background, considering the number of economics question I
So
got.
all of them
Economics
were
was
professors, or somebody was
Yes,
was
yes,
an
definitely.
industry expert or something?
I can't say whether it was an industry expert or not, because I can't remember the description that they gave. But it was definitely not an alum, because alums also sit for interviews
Yeah,
sometimes.
right. So
So
you believe most of them were
yeah.
professors?
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I had mentioned I had taken economics as a minor in my undergraduation,
Okay.
and I had mentioned in the form that I said. So a lot of questions were economics, directed at economics. So somehow I could figure that yes, they are professors at economics.
Right. Somewhere you also mentioned while saying about the extempore that you submitted an SOP.
Yeah.
So when are you
Yes.
supposed to submit the SOP? Before the PI and the extempore round, before everything, right? So did you get any
Correct.
questions from the PI as well?
So I did not get there was a very popular question is what is the major trend that you have seen this year, or what big situation or big macroeconomic sort of event has happened that is going to change the business environment. And a lot of questions I mentioned about the Taliban thing, because I somehow Taliban and rare earth thing, because I wanted to relate it with my background in chemistry. But contrary to my expectations, none of the questions were directed to the answer that I have written. But in the form, as I mentioned, that there were a number of questions that were based on what kind of subjects that I have studied. So a lot of questions were directed from there. And if I remember correctly, reading other people's transcripts, I could feel that what the answer that they have written to the question, what major event that has happened, a lot of questions were directed related to that questions in their interview, but not in mine.
Okay. And how long did your interview go on for?
It felt like forever, but thankfully it was 30 minutes only.
Okay. And one major thing was, did your interview start with tell me yourself question or something ice breaking, like out of the blue you got a general knowledge question or something?
So no, tell me about yourselves, but these are very important questions that they should be prepared about. Just an added caution from my end that not to take these questions lightly, because these can direct the flow of the interview. Sorry, coming back to your question, yes. So I was not about tell me about yourself. Even YMBA was not asked to me. But the initial question that was asked to me, that where I was from, and I was from Bareilly. And since IIFT is a trade college, so the first question that should have been very obvious to me and I should have prepared, but I didn't, was that, okay, what kind of commodity or what kind of products are traded from Bareilly, which you feel are, can you mention some of them? And
So that was the
you
first
might
question
think,
asked to you.
yeah, because I mentioned Bareilly, right?
Right.
And so so this was some of the homework that I didn't do, and you might feel that you can sort of beat around the bush or might try to say anything, but what I found that even the place, so Bareilly is famous for bamboo, so I mentioned
Okay.
bamboo, and she had a very thorough knowledge of even the places where bamboo was sold in Bareilly, which really surprised me. So that was a very key learning for me. And one another thing that she asked me, like, what are the things that are like, if I come to visit Bareilly, what place would you take me which has not been explored by a lot of people or something like that?
Hmm.
So you should be this sort of a general aware things that candidates are expected to know. It sort of reflects their observational capacity and their how their analysis that they do of the things around them. So this is very important. These things are very important, I would say.
Right. And what was the next question asked to you after this question then?
They were loaded with chemistry questions. Like, I don't want to bore you, but they were chemistry questions. Even I couldn't answer them really well. So yeah.
And post these questions that were related to your graduation subjects, then did they go to
Yes.
any hygiene questions?
Hygiene questions, not as such, I would say. But they did ask me that what kind do you read newspapers? What kind of newspapers? Even see, my understanding from the interviews has been they can ask you about anything, and what they are looking for, what kind of differential analysis that you can provide to them, that will make you stand out to the panelists. That okay, this person knows something, this person has some idea, and this person has some observational and analytical capacity. So this is what they are looking for. And these hygiene factors, these hygiene questions, you sort of want to include that what differentiating factor you have observed, what you know about yourself, that you should put in your answers. So this is very important, and any question can be asked as per my experience.
So general knowledge, current affairs subjects, graduation subjects, hygiene questions, anything and everything from these sections can be asked to any candidates in the PI.
Yes, I'll tell you an interesting thing. I was asked that, so there's a very popular song that Jhumka Gira Re Bareilly Ke Bazaar Mein, right? And and I'm from Bareilly, and so they asked me which movie and who sang the song, and I had no idea. So this sort of reflects poorly on me, because I'm from Bareilly, and this is something that I have been hearing from from childhood, and I never had even the curiosity to find out who was the singer or which movie it is. So it reflects badly on me as well, right?
True.
So this is the general awareness that I should have been aware about.
Imagine all the candidates now figuring out that हम कौन सी city से हैं और इस पे कोई गाना बना है क्या? So that interview में पूछा तो पता होना चाहिए किसने compose किया है, किसने गाया है. Amazing.
Yeah, but it's important, I would say, that what kind of place you are from, and you should know that what are the unique, curious things that might perk the interview's interest. So
True.
yeah.
And key takeaway is you must know anything and everything about yourself, about your graduation subjects, about your place that you live in. मतलब हमसे related कोई भी चीज के बारे में पूछ सकते हैं.
See, I don't want to scare them, but it's not scary as such, to be honest. If you're prepared with your academic subjects, especially you're a fresher, you are expected to know that. I can't really comment on the people with work, is because I don't have that background, and I cannot sort of exaggerate into it or sort of venture into what I don't know about. But my understanding is that you sort of have to give them that the feeling that you are an observational and analytical person, that you know something, and if given a chance, the institute will benefit from you. Not just
Correct.
you will benefit from the course, the institute will benefit from
That's
you.
what I was
So this is
coming
this
to.
kind of
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So that's
Sure,
what I
go
was
ahead,
coming
please.
to. Yeah, I was saying that the two questions that you mentioned, first that what is traded in Bareilly, and the second the song that had Bareilly ke Bazaar wala reference. So दोनों में you said कि you were not very well versed with these topics, या इनके बारे में you were not very sure, and you tried your best to answer but you couldn't blow. So how can any aspirant or anybody manage such situations? How did you manage this situation? क्योंकि there are certain questions जिनका answer आपको short नहीं पता है, but still you managed to crack that interview. So how did you do that? What was your approach to
I would
tackle
say,
such questions?
right. I would say just be honest. If you don't know something, then just mention it. So I said that, and the second thing I clearly said, I don't know the answer, but can I at least take a guess? If I am recalling something, but I'm not sure of it. If it's okay, can I take a guess about it based on what I recall? And it's fine. They understand that you are a candidate. You cannot know anything, everything, right?
Correct.
The questions can be from anywhere, but it is expected that you are a candidate. You are a human being after all, and you cannot know anything, everything. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So your approach in the terms that how you answer, do you globe or not, your tone and your confidence, how you manage to answer that question, these all things are also taken into consideration while you answer.
Yes, definitely. And I feel that even the case-based situations that are sometimes given to you, and if they are not, so I feel that the interview will give you, if it's a long interview, the interview will try to assess you, and if it's not getting what he wants, he'll sort of throw around the case-based situation and give you an ample opportunity to sort of prove yourself. So it's okay that you don't know, if you don't know anything, you just have to be honest, because it looks bad that you'll say you know it and then it's wrong. So it sort of reflects badly on your confidence. So it's best to just be confident on what you know. And if you don't know something, just say, no, I'm not aware of it. I think that's the best strategy.
Correct. Right. And now that you're already in the campus, you're almost about to complete 1 year in IIFT. Tell us one interesting thing about IIFT that we as outsiders do not.
So IIFT, one of the best things about IIFT is that it's a very beautiful campus. So to submit the SOP form, I got an opportunity to visit the form. There was an option of submitting via mail as well, but I wanted to come here and see what it looks like. And any aspirant should always try to come here and see the beautiful campus it is. I think it was a very motivating factor for me to just keep the grind on and working here. So definitely visit the campus. It's very beautiful. It's small, but it's very beautiful.
Amazing. And how does a routine day at IIFT look like? How do you start your day? At what time the lectures start?
So the lecture starts at the time I usually wake up. So it's 9 a.m. So I have to run. Yeah, and no, I'm just kidding. I'm not very late to the class. But yeah, it usually goes till the last lecture is at 6. But we do have some breaks in between. It depends on, it varies on a day-to-day basis. But the first class starts at 9 a.m. You might or might not have the first class. It also depends. But yeah, 9 to 6 is the usual class timings.
Okay. And one thing that you would want to tell all the people who got calls from IIFT and maybe watching this video now, and they need a tip. So anything that you want to convey to them before they attempt their PI or their GD and VAC?
Okay, I hope I've not scared the candidates as such, because there's nothing to be scared about, to be very honest. It's a very okay. I'll tell you what I was feeling and how they can improvise this year, based on my experience of last year. So at times it looks very confusing. It looks very frustrating. You are going through a lot of emotions. You are waiting for the results. You are waiting for the day to come because you feel like you've prepared from your end. Just hold on to the feeling and just believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel, because you can always have sort of a buddy or a mentor that you can talk to, because the person can give you immense motivation, or at least he'll listen to the kind of frustration that has been building into you. And I think venting out is very important, to just let it out what you have been feeling, because it's a long process, an mentally exhausting process. So take time with it and just believe in yourself. Good things will definitely happen.
Amazing. And with this note, thank you so much, Utkarsh, for being with us today. Thank you for sharing so many insights and your experience with all the people and all our viewers. I'm very sure they'll definitely benefit with this information and the experience that you have shared with us. And thank you guys for watching this video. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe College Duniya Ka MBA channel. Also, if you need any help regarding any process, Utkarsh told me to tell you guys that you can reach him out on LinkedIn. So he's Utkarsh Singh from IIFT Delhi. And you guys can also comment any question that you have regarding any process or anything in the comment section. If we get time, we can get answers from Utkarsh and get back to you through videos or in any form. Till then, stay tuned and do watch our next video. Thank you.